Hey guys, welcome to Flow 4. In this installation, I'm going to do a little timbral variation of this second crash, because if you listen to their crash, it sounds like they're using a different crash, but I've already processed this one and everything, so I'm just gonna do maybe some EQ automation. Yeah, it's all resampled. It is what it is, but if I can just insert something on it, an effect, an EQ or whatever, I can just automate throughout where it happens, because the crashes are only happening like that for these first 50 measures or so. So let's listen to what they got, and we'll compare it and improve what we have. So here's theirs. Yeah, so I'm just going to bounce between the two. Yeah. See, the first one's a little brighter. Yep, and the second one's a little darker. Just a tad, it's not a huge deal. Maybe they are using EQ. I'm going to use my trusty device here, and maybe I can isolate where that's happening. So let's get a listen at the first crash. I'm just bouncing between the two crashes. That's a huge difference. I mean, again, it's around that 6K range. So what I'm going to endeavor to do is just instantiate an EQ here. Audio effects, EQ8, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a notch at 6,666 hertz, and maybe 3 decibels, and just hear what kind of effect that has. I'm going to leave it fairly wide for now, and let's just compare it between the two. Well, it would help if I actually that's quite a lot, so let's again bounce over there and hear what they're doing. And then let's compare ours again. Maybe -1.5. So let's try that. Let's go ahead and I wonder which would give us less popping. I'll just automate this right here, okay? So we can go ahead and see, now it's on. We want it off, then on. So boom. Let's give that a listen. Pretty good. It might be too much. Let's try a little less. I'm satisfied with that. I mean, let's listen to it without. See how much brighter that is? It just, yeah, the last time I was working on this, I think 2 days ago, it just was so obnoxious to me. So let's go ahead and do 1 1/4. Let's go back to 1.5. That's too much. I'll leave it at 1 1/4 and call it a day. So let's go ahead and show that automation, and then we can come here and I think it's Option Command C, I want to say, Option Command V. No, I'm not sure what copy automation is. Let's see if I can find it. Copy envelope. Maybe that's Control. I can never remember what that little squiggly line is. So Control Command C and Control Command V. Just V. It's got to just be paste because there is no paste envelope command. So there's in it. It didn't copy this because if it did, it just would have been Command C and then Command V, and we should get the pink one. Yeah, so I didn't want that. So yeah, it definitely did what it's supposed to. We can just Command V. Oops. See, because I copied it again. So let's just copy this. Control Command Control C over here. Command V. What the hell, man? Well, I must have been right about the first one. So it's Option Command C. Yeah, it's a handy little shortcut to know. I don't know who it was, Mr. Bill or someone. He did like a little thing on Ableton, like how to work faster, and it seemed kind of neurotic when I first was watching it. I was like, really? Like, how fast do you need to be? But yeah, it all adds up. Otherwise, I'd be sitting here drawing things in. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Now I don't know what the hell else to do. I mean, there's a lot that needs to be done, but my chords are done, my crash is done, and I don't need this crash anymore, so I'm going to go ahead and save this and delete the crash tracks. It's always good to save these little instances, guys, so don't, don't let that go. By the way, this is my parallel compression chain, because the crash was kind of low, so I just slammed it into the compressor. Maybe you can see it here actually working. I gotta turn this because it's set to in, so I'm actually clipping, which is fine, I suppose. Just gives a little character. I actually didn't even notice that till now, but that's my parallel compression. Usually I'll put some EQ in it, but this time I didn't. So anyway, just delete these, and this was my, yeah, I think I made it actually too dense, but you got to keep moving forward, man. That's the whole secret. So I'm deleting these, saving, and I don't know what I'm gonna do next, so I won't save it yet, but this is how I do my track naming, just so you know. This is just a reference track. It is a group, but it's not capitalized because it's not really a group, because I mean there's just one sound on it. This is just a single track, so it's lowercase, and then this is a proper group, so it's in capitals, chords, right? So typically I'll make my kick red, and I'll actually make, like, I call these utility tracks. So the reference, you can consider a utility track. This is just for my sync, and in case I need to, like, use the keyboard, which for some reason right now doesn't want to make any sound. Sometimes that happens. Oh, it's because, well, it's because my group, but yeah, I wasn't even sending MIDI. But these are just my, I call them utility tracks, and I usually keep them pretty small. Usually my kick, which maybe I'll start with the kick, will be red, bass will be orange, percussion, which I consider crashes to be, are yellow, so I can go ahead and just group that up and just rename it perk. There's a lot of different ways you can go about routing. Pegboard Nerds did one on Reddit. They did an AMA, and I haven't really tried to implement it, but it seems legit, sounds legit. But, I don't know. There's so many things that you can do that you just, you know what I mean, you got to pick what you're going to work on. Right now I'm just trying to work my production stuff. So, you know, the thing is with this track, man, I have no idea what I'm going to do with the groove, because I mean, these rhythms are pretty crazy, you know. So really, I watched a quick video that some guy did, like how I make D&B, and it was the more modern style I was telling you about, super aggressive, very simple drums. And in contrast, one of the reasons I liked this track so much was because it was complex, almost complicated, really. There's like 5, you know, variations of the snare. Like there's really only, like there's 2 properly different snares, at least, and there's also like EQ variation on the loops, and there's like 2 sets of loops. So like this loop is the super soft one in the beginning, right here. Right, sorry. And then it comes over to this harder loop, and that one keeps playing. Right, but then it opens up again, or the other snare comes in right here. But the loop does open up some, like not this one, but this one does open up some. Let's see if I can point that out to you, because this one just sounds really bandpass, and then this one opens up. Let me see if I can convince you. At the very least, it gets louder. So, and then there's hats and everything. You know, originally I wanted to start working with these loops, but like I'm telling you, the guy, he said he started with his main kick and snare first, and then he added the loops behind it, which seems to make sense. So, you know, I wanted to work with the drums next. It is drum and bass. The bass line in this track is pretty simple. It basically has a simpler version here before the break, and then it doubles up, and these just get cut short, muted, essentially, like, you know, sampler style. So you want to listen to the bass. Here's basically the full bass line, and it's it's a 4-measure phrase. So let me give you a hint of that. That's their bass line. Nothing much, but the drums, as you hear, are just crazy. So I don't even know where I want to start, because, you know, there's the whole arrangement tactic of kind of starting with your main drop and then working your way backwards. So I could always just find the biggest, baddest section. So let me kind of organize my thoughts here. I'm not trying to waste your guys' time, but this is maybe what you might have to go through, so this is part of it. Again, this isn't flow, like action-packed, how to do XYZ. This is just me working in real time. So here's the kick, which is very busy here, but the kick sound doesn't change much. It's basically the same kick the whole way. Sorry. You can hear that. Well, it doubles up with the bass there, so that could make sense. And then there's snare. The snare, the second snare, because there's so much snare stuff happening. And then the 2 loops. The soft loop comes back in here, and then the bigger loop with its variations, and the hats, and the crash, go to chords and all these layers. So here's the melody, both melodies, a little baby sound, which is from the think break. So it looks like it's around here, especially with that chord layer right there. So let's give a listen to it, because yeah, the break, it doesn't really like just drop back in, you know, it kind of builds up. So probably around here is going to be your main section, especially with this second melody. Actually sounds kind of dropped out there for some reason. Why does it sound dropped out though? Because the loop isn't there. I don't want to play too much of it because I don't want to get like copyright strike. But I do need to get my sounds together. So since this kick is playing with the bass, I want to go back to the beginning and just try to isolate the sound of the kick. But in the meantime, I'm just going to block off this section. Drum intensity is up there, so around measure 185. Alright, sorry guys, I'm gonna need to tune you out a little bit so I can. So yeah, my initial idea was just to kind of get some of the sound design. Oh, there's a clap too. Jeez. So yeah, let's listen to what this kick sounds like, and let's see if we can get a similar sounding one. It definitely sounds like vinyl sampled. So that means I need to make a kick track. And actually, I have a cool little tool over here called the Hexspa. And with this thing, you can open up different, you know, wave files and import kicks and stuff. So, like, I don't even know if I'm monetizing these tracks. I should probably just not. But yeah, I come over here to my samples folder. I got my jungle breaks. I know they're using the think break. So we can hear what that sounds like. Or not. Why am I not hearing that? Because I got my headphones. So let's try it again. I mean, that sounds exactly like their kick drum. Right there. Maybe just pitched up a little bit. So we can transpose it. Maybe one. And then I can just render it out. You hear that? It sounds pretty close. Sounds pretty close. Maybe they made it a little faster. It sounds actually like they're using two different kicks. So you hear that there's like a lot of complexity here. So it's like high, low, low, high. So we're going to need at least two different kick sounds. That's the same. But again, they might be using that little EQ trick too. So let's just go with this one and try to, you know, I don't know what they did. I don't know what they sampled. You know, I'm just, again, learning. So I mean, it sounds exactly like it. So if I can just, oh shit, you know what? I'm screwing it up. I'm not supposed to hit play. Preview. And you hear the kind of graininess. So this, what does this go to? 2500. I'm just trying to use this thing because I'm trying to go for that little bit more old school sound. Because this is before, I mean, this is before Ableton even was released. I don't know if they sped it up though. I don't know. So yeah, the cycle length down in the bottom, you're supposed to get more of a metallic sound, and then higher up you get more of that wavy kind of vibrato-ish sound. It seems pitched up just a little. I don't know what key their song is in. Mine's in B flat, but I'd have to figure out what note even this kick is on. I don't know what it is. And I am in a different key, so I should be listening to mine. Sounds good, you know. I liked it. So let's just go with it. Maybe I can. Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. I'm gonna go with that one, so I can just save the file, and then this is the name of the original file. The time stretching applied. Your I think they call it the D factor in the original Akai samplers, and then your transposition. I don't know what R stands for. Render. I don't know. So save it to the desktop. It's been saved. So that's nice. And there's a lot more stuff that happens, but again, I'm just looking for a kick drum sound right now. So I'll come over here to desktop, and I'm thinking I'm going to put it into a sampler. We're actually coming up on 25 minutes, so that's actually a good time. But I'm going to go Shift Command T, new MIDI track, and instruments. Obviously I don't want a sampler. I probably just want a simpler. Impulse I think will be too basic. Yeah, with the filters and stuff. So boom, and then my desktop. Whoa, and boom. And remember, this has been already transposed. I could continue to do that since I have sort of already, you know, messed with it. But let's see if we can just isolate this before we get started on the next section, and that'll be sound design on this kick. So, where are they at? You know what I mean, I don't want to necessarily copy their exact whole thing. You know, I'm just looking for the sound design. It's just the flavor of it. So I guess in the next video what I'll do is really work on isolating this kick, doing the voices and the filtering and all that other stuff, just to get a nice authentic sounding late 90s drum and bass kick drum. Alright, see you then.